But then he said, what if, in very dramatic, melodramatic fashion, stopped her from leaving the room, grabbed her hand, and said, what if I want you to have expectations of me? It was a bit cheesy soap opera, but I liked it. Good morning, fellow General Hospital fans. Here to talk about yesterday's Friday episode of the show, which I must say was a notch up on recent week's episodes, I will say. So, at least I feel like some things went in better directions. Now, I don't know if the consistency is going to be there for those directions, but let's talk about it. Let's actually start with Curtis, who has been irking, I think, all of us. Haven't seen a single person on Curtis's side here in the comments or on social media. Because how can you be? He's kind of batshit crazy right now when it comes to the whole accident that he helped cause because he was the one getting frisky with Jordan while she was driving. They crashed. He's upset there was another car there that didn't stop. And then he's dead wrong accusing Isaiah this whole time. Well, I'm glad that Portia got to have a confrontation with Curtis and honestly kind of put him in his place a lot during these scenes. At first, she told Curtis that because of his actions, the transplant kid that Isaiah was supposed to work on maybe can't have his transplant because Isaiah is one of the only people in the country that I guess is so good at that. Well, Curtis went to say that Isaiah has nobody to blame but himself, and Portia is upset because Curtis is acting like he is justified in punching Isaiah. Well, she called him out on being a grown man and saying that nothing that Isaiah said should have warranted physical violence. Curtis said, oh, we're going to have to agree to disagree. Then Curtis went so far as to say that Isaiah shouldn't have any role in his child's life, there was some gall there by Curtis. While this basically turned into another Jordan versus Isaiah fight between Portia and Curtis, and they argued about Isaiah and how Portia was sleeping with Isaiah during their marriage. She was saying that Curtis ran away from their marriage and that Isaiah was by her side the whole time, not judging her. Portia then ended this episode telling him to stop worrying about these supposed charges that should be brought against Isaiah and start worrying about the actual charges against him that she was there to witness, which I thought was a total burn from Portia because Curtis is going around complaining about Isaiah when a crime wasn't even committed by the other driver. So Curtis just remains stupid and ridiculous, but it was nice to see Portia really kind of put him in his place. Let's move on a little bit to Tracy and Ethan. Not a lot to say about them, but she says that he has a business proposition. Ethan is thinking that Tracy should hire him for her more nuanced dealings. And she did say that she might have something for his particular skill set. She needs Ethan to make sure that nothing gets in the way of the adoption that Brook Lynn and Chase are trying to do with baby Phoebe, which brought us to Ava and Alexis on their little fun journey. It wasn't as fun as I was hoping, honestly, but they met some guy named Apollo, who I guess is big in the art world, which is how Ava knows him, which is why Alexis brought Ava along because this guy knew baby Phoebe's mother, Delilah. They questioned him. He tried to play it off. Ava stalled, saying she was gonna look around at all his art, but then confronted him again about how Delilah was his employee. And Ava said that they are looking for information on behalf of the wealthy Quartermain family. And hearing that there could be some money involved for information, he decided to give information and showed Ava and Alexis a picture of Delilah and Ethan together. As we know, when Ethan first came along, he was tied to this Delilah character. Does that mean he is baby Phoebe's father? I really hope not, to be honest. Still don't actually care about the whole baby Phoebe aspect of the storyline, but they're really trying to make it more interesting with Ethan, I guess. Michael, meanwhile, was with Brook Lynn, who is, or was, wrapping a gift for Willow. Michael had to tell Brook Lynn that Willow isn't doing all this to help her. She is doing it to help Chase. Brook Lynn was trying her best to not act angry when her and Michael were discussing Willow. She wants to deliver the gift personally, not knowing that Chase and Willow were together. But then Brook Lynn opened her mouth about that night when Trina was giving a performance, which was the night of the crash. So at least someone was able to put it together that Brook Lynn might have been the other driver that night that Curtis and Jordan crashed. Michael is the one that put that together. He called over Jacinda so that they can talk about it because he thinks that if Brook Lynn was involved with the crash, then this could be good for them to help push Chase and Willow close together again, because Michael is saying that if Brook Lynn was involved and has lied about it, then Chase is going to realize he doesn't really know who his wife is, and Willow is going to be there waiting for Chase. I like that Michael is being devious here, really actually kind of like a Quartermain, so that's nice to see. Still think Michael could be on more, honestly, because I do like watching him. And I also liked watching Chase and Willow together. I do want them to have an affair. You know, it's kind of a full circle moment for Chase and Willow if they do. We ended Thursday's episode with Chase consoling Willow and Willow saying she's over her marriage with Drew. Willow is not saying her marriage hit a rough patch. She is saying that she never should have married Drew in the first place. Chase, of course, was giving Willow pep talks about Drew, and Willow says that she just married Drew for all of the wrong reasons, and she knows she probably sounds like a monster right now because her husband is currently locked inside his own body, and meanwhile she's here complaining about everything while enjoying his congressional seat. This also led to her apologizing for back in the day when she cheated with Michael, his best friend, in the past. I was watching some of that back then, and I remember rooting for Chase and Brook Lynn to eventually be together. And here we are years later coming back to the show, and I cannot stand these two together because Brook Lynn is so boring. Though we did see some of the old Brook Lynn at the end of this episode, because Brook Lynn did arrive with the gift that she was going to bring to Willow as a thank you for all the help for baby Phoebe. And she sees that Chase is already there. They both are there to thank Willow. Brook Lynn did a good job of playing it off, not being upset that Chase was already there. They talked to Willow a little longer, but when Chase left first, Brook Lynn stayed behind and told Willow that she is grateful for all that she has done. But then she gave a warning that if Willow so much as breathes on her husband again, it will be the last breath she takes and that she will destroy Willow, which I enjoyed the threat. I did. I just don't know if this is going to be old Brook Lynn staying out, or because, you know, they've tried to make Brook Lynn this saint that is so boring. She's one of my least favorite characters, you know, along with Molly and what's his face, those two bores. But and Curtis now too. I've been saying this for weeks. Brook Lynn does not do it for me, but it is nice to see the old Brook Lynn. However, I am Team Willow in this confrontation. I want the Willow and Chase affair. I want the mess. I want Brook Lynn's sainthood to fall apart. Maybe we could get more old Brook Lynn if her sainthood falls apart. So yeah, it's probably an unpopular opinion, but I'm rooting for Willow to destroy Brook Lynn. The only other thing on yesterday was Valentin and Carly upset with Valentin about the other day. I guess they haven't been seeing each other even though they've been in the same house, because Carly is upset since he made it clear that he would ditch her to go save Anna, because Carly is still upset that her daughter is missing, and right now Cullum and Sidwell are still running wild, and he was just going to up and leave. He told her that he stayed, didn't he? And this, of course, led to one of their arguments with Valentin saying he has overstayed his welcome, he will shut down the project at Windermere and be gone for good. I mean, it was a little teenage angst with Valentin here, the way he was acting, and the way Carly was acting too. Luckily for them, a stressed Charlotte arrived, complaining about Rocco, feeling guilty that it could be her fault because Rocco ran away after she and Danny were talking to Rocco about going to Windermere, and he said they shouldn't do that, and they did it anyway and shut him out. But Valentin calmed Charlotte down, wants her to stay out of things. When Charlotte left, Carly did apologize to Valentin for lashing out at him and putting expectations on their situationship. But then he said, what if, in very dramatic, melodramatic fashion, stopped her from leaving the room, grabbed her hand, and said, what if I want you to have expectations of me? It was a bit cheesy soap opera, but I liked it. I do like these two together. I don't like how jealous they can be of each other. I've also seen people online saying that Carly finally gets to feel how other women have felt over the years when Jason would always drop them to run to Carly and her problems. And that is true. But Valentin said that he will always have feelings for Anna, but whatever this is, it's not about that. He apologized too. So Valentin and Carly will continue their situationship, which for right now I am here for. So yeah, this was a stronger episode because it was good to see someone tell it like it is to Curtis, that being Portia, calling him out on his nonsense, his batshit, bald, crazy nonsense. And then it was good to see Chase and Willow scenes. Maybe Michael can really push them together further. Michael really acting like a quartermain because Brook Lynn would get hurt in all of this, but much like Michael, I don't care if she does get hurt. I don't love the whole Ethan, Delilah, baby Phoebe stuff. Maybe they can make it more interesting. But if Ethan's the baby's father, it's not going to be this revelation that really makes me care about it so much. But hopefully this episode was steps in the right direction for some of these storylines. Because the past 2 weeks in general, it's been falling flat because they have to like really extend a lot of these plots. And there's plot holes because characters are not doing things they should be because they want to stretch these plots out too long.